This is Julie Riddle, and I'm just going to interpret this first piece. This is Donna, and she's going to be talking a little bit about deaf and hearing cultures. Hello, my name is Donna McCormick, and I was born deaf, and my family is deaf as well. And I went to the North Carolina School for the Deaf. And I grew up really appreciating ASL because all of my family is deaf. Well, I have one hearing sister, but she's a really skilled signer. So when we'd sit at the dinner table, we'd have lively conversation, and I didn't miss out on any of that conversation or any of the day's events. And one day there was a girl when I was in grade school, and she was the same age as I was, and I was invited to her parents' house for dinner. And I noticed when we were eating that the people at the table were just chit-chatting away and not signing. They were speaking in English. And none of the stories were being communicated, and my friend was just used to it. She would just eat, and the rest of the family would ignore her, and that was just the way that it was. So I invited her over to my home, and she saw that it didn't matter. I had a hearing sister, and then the rest of my family was deaf, but we talked and communicated during our dinner. So it's just really important for people, if you know sign, if you're going to socialize with people who are deaf, if your parents are deaf, or if you're a counselor, if you're working with deaf people in any sort of fashion, you know, we prefer to use ASL, and I prefer to use ASL because it's a visual language, and it's a more natural language for deaf people. ASL is just, and if you use, I respect English, and I respect ASL. I love to write in English, but my preferred mode of communication is ASL. It's a beautiful language, and it's just a better fit for deaf people, a more natural, visual, gestural language. And then when I went to Gallaudet, I met many deaf people from other countries. And it was really interesting. We communicated in similar ways, by body language and eye contact. And it was really wonderful to see that I had so much in common with people from other countries. And deaf people from other cultures, you know, they had different traditions such as food and clothing, but really we had a lot of similarities. The way that we get attention by tapping somebody's shoulders, and the way that we used body language, and the way that they've historically been oppressed. It was really wonderful to see that. It was a really cool experience to see the similarities.